Tom Nicastro, managing editor of CMSWire, back with a familiar face with a new name. So that's the news right off the bat. Nichole Hinton. Hi, Nichole.
Hi, how are you?
Good. A large departure from the Devilides brand of Nichole, her former last name, but big news, recently got married. Congrats.
Thank you very much. And I feel like if Prince can change his name, it's all right for me.
I love it. How do you pronounce your company's name again, Nichole?
Lissy.
Lissy. Okay, Lissy Company. You do CX consulting there. We know that. And you've been a frequent CMSWire contributor. We appreciate that very much. So besides the wedding news, we're going to talk CX. How's that sound?
Sounds perfect.
Okay, good. Now, first topic is, you did a column shockingly about travel and CX. Like that seems to be a theme, no?
Yeah, small theme.
You're either writing about your travels or how your home experiences relate to CX, like going to a local grocery store, getting wine, having to deal with inflation with wine. So,
Right.
you
There's
want
developing around what I like.
But seriously, these columns resonate because they have you're getting experiences from around the world, not just like the North American experience with customer experience, and you're learning some big lessons. So let's talk about this column. You traveled around the world, talked about 3 particular places. Let's start with Seychelles, which I looked that up how to pronounce it. And did I do that right?
You did, yes.
So you went there. What'd you learn?
Yeah, it's by the way, it's so far away. For those of you that have no idea where this is, it's in the middle of the Indian Ocean in East Africa. And that island, there's a chain of them actually, but most of those people don't actually leave the island. The more that we met, the more that we found they were born and raised, but they never felt like they needed to leave because so many different cultures come in. They feel like they experience it while they live there. But the really cool thing that I learned was a sense of community. They have tech, obviously. I mean, I was able to get access to the internet, but it doesn't rule their life. It's something where they'd rather build those human connections, which is what their customer service is based off of, is taking the time to get to know people and have conversations, something I think that, we tend to take for granted.
Yeah. And I think it was that example where the person that you were talking with, like you said, had a lot of pride in meeting people and connecting people and being prideful about their island. And they kind of, see getting in these positions as like a badge of honor,
They do. And it's interesting because, and there's an example here. So our orientation guide, when we got to our resort, born and raised on the island, never left, but she spoke 3 languages simply because the people that she met over time taught her a lot of those languages. So she speaks both Russian and French. Now, French is traditionally what you would think they would speak in Seychelles. There's a whole history behind it. But usually they don't. They speak English. And so for them to learn this piecemeal just by people visiting the islands and them being curious, just think what that does for customer experience for people from other countries that might not speak English. So it's really neat to see what kind of effect it's had on the island, just in terms of, connecting again with humans, but also providing, a higher level of experience you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, we use that as a metaphor with CX. We say, speak the language of your customers. And that's what literally that person did.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And then you moved on, you went to Dubai, and you think this is like the GOAT of customer experience. Like no one beats Dubai. CX is queen. Now, why?
Yeah, well, the first thing that I tell everybody is I've never gone to a mall where somebody else is opening my door. It's not press the handicap button and you're through the door. It's somebody is there to greet you. And the way that they greet you, you feel like royalty, so to speak. And every single experience we had there, it didn't matter where we were, was first class. And it's memorable, right? Those little memorable moments make a big difference. But the biggest one for me is we were staying in a hotel that is, probably on the nicer end of the scale, but they used tech to support comfort. So for example, the curtains close if you press a button, but they would call every day and ask, what do you need? What do you need from us? What can we do for you? And the more that we went places, the more that we heard this question. And it's something that, we also take for granted in America, right? We look at efficiency. We look at, okay, yes, we want to take care of people, but it's for the sake of time and how much we've got on our plate. They will take the time, no matter what you do, no matter what they have to do, to help you out. And so it's something that left a huge impression on us, and we now get why it is so many people like going there. But above and beyond that, it really made us think about the little moments, right? And how just a little bit of help, just a different kind of level of personalization, or just making sure that somebody's taken care of in the smallest way, that is a memorable moment. And so we brought that back with us and actually brought it back into our business and tried to figure out, how could we incorporate these kinds of little lessons that can make a big impact?
Yeah, like adopt that mentality of just being super passionate about what you do, giving it all in those 8 odd hours that you just clock in for the day. And sometimes they're so good, you're like, "Are you sure you wanna do that for me?" Like, you don't have to, like, you don't have to go
Like,
get
I can
me
open
another.
my own door.
Yeah, right, right.
We learned from a guy who was actually from Ghana. He was the door valet at the hotel. And he said, it's an honor to actually get any position in the hospitality industry in Dubai, because it's setting the standard for all the hotels around the world. There are a lot of hotel brands that are now basing their employee handbook on the standards that were created in Dubai. So it, to me, is such a cool way to see a handbook come alive, knowing that fact, really, and then seeing how proud they are to work in the hospitality industry there, because they can write their own ticket to go anywhere and take higher level jobs, or even get promoted within Dubai hospitality.
Yeah. And then our little CX traveler here goes on, and then she contracts this big disease called people exhaustion.
Yeah.
Now, where did that happen, and why did that happen, and what did you learn from that experience?
Yeah. So I should preface this by saying that we had already been to Amsterdam, then Seychelles, then Dubai, then Paris for a week. So as you can see why the people exhaustion was
So
setting in.
sorry. So
Oh,
sorry.
no, I know, I get it. But, and I should make no mistake, I was working the entire time all this was going on. By the time we got to Hamburg, Germany, which is what I think you're referring to, I just had it. A lot of big cities, right? It's a lot of walking around and navigating ways, and I just tired. And so at that point, I really didn't even want to leave the hotel, but there were a lot of amazing things to see in Hamburg, but I was just tired. So that's when you start going, gosh, what food delivery places are nearby?
Right.
I could drop it off at the door and I don't have to talk to anybody. But the point of that is that we all hit people exhaustion, right? And so that's where the tech steps in. And it's another thing that we learned was that anybody could get that. Anybody can get the people exhaustion. And so how do we have tech there to complement it? And, we use food delivery as an example when we tell people this kind of story, but really it could apply to anything where we supplement human interaction for that kind of tech, just to kind of keep our sanity intact.
Yeah. Nichole, my wife and I are a little different. We go at the people exhaustion thing right off the bat. That's where we start our trip. We are in the hotel, we're wondering if the TV's good, the room service works. So we kind of want to like ease into people. So we start that way, we hide from everybody, and then we go out.
Good idea. Yeah, I should really think about reversing this.
Yeah. But let's ask one more question about the bringing this all together and talking to the CX leader who's not in Dubai. Maybe they're in LA or something, and they're trying to create these great experiences, try to motivate their staff. What's the final lesson here?
Yeah, right now we're all in a really tough position as CX professionals, really trying to blend tech and also at the same time deal with strat budgets and figuring out, how we still create that level of customer experience. Anybody that's read my articles know I'm a big proponent of human interaction, because no matter what, that's going to drive things a lot further than using tech to supplement in the case of people exhaustion. And so when I travel the world and I see these things, I really think about what is going to make me want to come back. And so that's the big question that I always invite everybody to ask for themselves as customers, much less as a CX professional, to say, what are the little things that are going to make me go, gosh, that's really amazing. I want to go back and have another experience, or I want to write about it or tell people about it. And so to me right now, with that focus on smaller budgets, and trying to do more with less. Let's focus on those tiny little moments that matter more, because that's going to carry you a lot farther at this point.
And that applies everywhere too. B2B, software sales. That's the world we live in, at CMSWire, where we're talking with vendors all the time and everything. And our sales team is, and, they want to have that experience that makes the vendor say, hey, wow, okay. Yeah. CMSWire, that's a good people there. Let's go back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Customer retention. Nichole Hinton. It's going to take me a little while to get used to that. But congratulations on the big news.
Thank you.
And we wish you the best, you and your new hubby the best. And thanks for joining us again on CMSWire. And thanks for another awesome contribution for an article.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
All right. We'll chat soon.
Okay.
Bye.